Hey there, everybody. We're back with some more Ori action. We've got a pretty sick match lined up for you today here between Dileira and TheSparik. And man, I don't know which way this one is going to go, but I know it's going to be exciting. I'm Sigma, and I'm joined by my good friend Grim. How's it going, dude?
Oh, just chilling. How are you?
Oh man, I'm all pumped up, and you're just chilling over here.
Well, like in the last match, we were like low on energy, right? Because it was kind of early, and now it's less early, so now I have more energy. I guess.
That's true. The coffee's kicked in. Sol has climbed to the middle of the sky, giving you that solar energy down there.
Yes, very important.
Do you photosynthesize like Ori, Grim? Is that why you're feeling good now?
Yes.
Okay.
It shines in through the window, and I generate food for myself.
Nice. That's why you're all lethargic in the morning, since it has nothing to do with being groggy from sleep. It's the lack of sun.
Yep, that's true. So the match we have coming up, as you said, it's between Dileira and TheSparik, who are, assuming that I had their PBs correct, Dileira is sitting at a 31.25 compared to TheSparik at a 31.36. So if you are familiar with math, that's an 11-second difference between their PBs, and it's an 11-second difference in the low 31 range, well, mid 31 range, which is, well, it's really close. It's just really close.
Yeah, that's like barely more than a Blackroot cycle. That's less than a Kuro cutscene.
That's true.
Yeah.
Those are some true numbers.
Yeah. So, man, this one's gonna be good, man. I just am itching to get this started because, wow.
Yeah.
And it's always fun too to see these like matters with like basically tied PBs because you don't really know who's gonna edge away at the start. Like it's really easy for one person or the other to be ahead by wall jump or switch by dash or who knows what's gonna happen.
Well, and the other interesting thing is when you're in the race like this, I find it enjoyable to think about the mentalities of the runners. You know, do you decide to watch the restream? Do you go for all the ballsy strats and just go as fast as possible, treat it like a PB attempt, or do you play it, you know, a tiny bit safe and hope that your opponent makes a mistake? In the last race that we had earlier, we were in a situation where Brynhold pretty much needed to Terra to make, you know, some really bad mistakes to win the match. That's not the case here. They are extremely even, so it's really like a 50-50 is who's going to play clean, who's going to take a nasty death, and will that person who takes a nasty death be able to recover?
Yeah, that is for sure, because it's definitely possible to come back, especially, you know, when you're in the 31. You still have like a couple minutes between your PB and the world record, so it's you tend to have less consistency in the late game than you would expect from, you know, like that Elo Terra matchup where, you know, once you're ahead, it's relatively easy to stay ahead. But looks like we're off now, and this race is getting going. And did we
just get that thing?
Is this real life?
That can happen. That is unfortunate. That is very unfortunate. It looks like TheSparik soft locked on the prologue skit, which, because this is a video game with some weird quirks to it, this is one of those quirks. Looks like TheSparik is just going to have to restart his game and keep going. Sometimes when this happens, the race will just be restarted. Yeah, I see Dileira stopping. Restart. Yeah, that's good sportsmanship on the part of Dileira. It's technically TheSparik's fault, right? Like, it's not RNG or anything.
Yeah.
If I understand that soft lock correctly.
As far as we know, you get that soft lock if you just skip the prologue on the first possible frame. And I don't know if that's all there is to it. I've never gotten it. I've seen it happen to a bunch of different people, but it's rough.
Right. Well, and when I say that it's TheSparik's fault, I mean that in the technical sense. Like, it's such a silly soft lock, and obviously you want to skip the prologue as fast as you can anyway because this is a speed run. All I mean is that it's not like TheSparik's game crashed because Windows had like an internal error or something. So that's where I mean it's just, it would not technically be required to restart the race, right? But it's just good sportsmanship. Someone like Dileira, as much as he wants to win, you don't want to win like that when your opponent just starts at like a 30-second deficit or whatever.
Yeah, that's for sure. So that's one, you know, thing we have in the rule books. If anybody gets that particular soft lock, it's basically just treating it as a technical issue because it's just at the start of the race, and you know, it's just silly. Like, it's rare, it doesn't happen to everybody, and there you go. So We're just getting things sorted out, and we'll be back underway shortly, hopefully without a soft lock this time.
Yep. I see in our SL chat we have the race restarted. Dileira and TheSparik have joined. Terra, our restreamer, is just kind of verifying that everything is good to go, and then we'll be getting kicked off again quite shortly. Hopefully we don't get a second soft lock. I don't think we've gotten 2 soft locks in a tournament race yet.
Yeah, how many in a row can you get? How good are your prologue skips?
If you got multiple in a row, yeah, that's just more impressive than anything.
Yeah, we'll keep restarting. I mean, these guys have fast times, and we've got an hour booked, so we can do this for 10 minutes if you want to show off some more prologue soft locks here, TheSparik.
We're gonna schedule for the whole day, just soft lock over and over and over again for 4 hours or something.
Oh man, actually, I don't think there's anything on after this one. I'll have to look at the schedule later, but I think it's just a break and then more Ori, like an hour from now. Ooh. So we could soft lock for an extra full hour.
So you're saying there's a chance?
Yeah. Okay, take 2. I think TheSparik hesitated that time.
Oh god, that scared me for a second. This game does tend to load this initial scene slowly, just by like a few seconds at most. So I think that's what happened to TheSparik, since presumably he just had to, relaunch his game after the initial soft lock. But that's okay. That's going to give Dileira a lead by not much at all.
Oh yeah, that's true. The slow load, and I do think he was a bit intentionally slow on that prologue skip.
Well, I mean, it's the sort of thing where like this is a speedrun and it's a race, so obviously you want to save all the time you can. But like you can afford an extra quarter second on the prologue skip. Like if that decides the race, then well, I guess that sucks. But it's unlikely to be quite that close. But it could happen.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to say to that as well. We never had a tournament of vanilla Ori, but I wonder how many people would manage to accidentally exit the game during the prologue skip in vanilla Ori, because the menuing was much more complicated for that.
Yeah, we joke about the prologue skip, but the prologue skip in the DE version is just pause and click the thing. In vanilla, there was a legitimate prologue skip, a way to open up the skip menu faster than 3 seconds, but that's kind of old Ori history for anyone curious.
Oh yeah. If you want to see the negative side effects of it, go watch the original run from Vooligen at SGDQ. What is it, 2015, where he messed up the prologue skip and then exited the game later because his menu was in such a weird state.
Oh, anyway, I love that. It's so
that's
fun.
That. Let's talk about the race a bit.
Yep. As always, we have made it to Sign. We've made it out of Sign. We're doing some running. We're doing some jumping. There's some platforms that move. There are some purple brambly guys. There's some moving purple brambly guys. And we're going to head down, take some damage, grab some keystones. I think I just summed up, like, all of the early game, right? Did I miss anything?
Yeah. Shooting, falling. Oh, man. Look at this big difference here. Dileira, both players got health drops, but Dileira's didn't roll down the hill. TheSparik's did, so Dileira gets the 1 health death. I'm pretty sure TheSparik's going to be at 2 here. Fortunately, the fish is there to help out, kill him a little bit faster, but that is a bit of a lead for Dileira, and that's going to be punctuated by the fact that Dileira does not take the early 4th health cell. Pretty rare choice among the tournament players. This is slightly faster if it does not cause you any issues later on. So there's a bit more of a lead right now than there actually is, but we'll have to see how it goes for Dileira, because the health going down to wall jump even can be sometimes pretty scary.
That's right. I always like to think of this decision to take 3 health in the early game rather than 4 as an investment. Like you said, it is technically a tiny bit faster if you make no mistakes, but oh boy, your run is going to be riskier throughout pretty much the whole thing as a result.
Yeah. Both Blackroot Burrows, I think, is one of the biggest scary places, and also Misty Woods later on. Having only 3 health there means the spikes all one-shot you, which is quite intimidating. So we'll have to look out for that, but for now, Dileira coming in ahead of TheSparik and wall jump, coming in with a 314. TheSparik not doing too badly either. I think had a bit of a deficit starting out from before the ghost door, but is gonna grab a wall jump there at 326, so most of the difference is just the health cell right now.
Yeah, well, I mean, you pretty much took the words out of my mouth. If you subtract that deficit, TheSparik is still behind, but not by a whole lot. Looks like Dileira did get his level up on the way down. I think I missed that when he came to it. So we're just going to be trying to work our way over to Blackroot and hopefully avoid most damage. There's one bit of damage that you'll see Dileira on the left taking first. He's going to kind of intentionally damage boost through one of these slimes in order to kind of hopefully cleanly.
Man, that was really bad. That was, oh god!
That sucks a whole lot. That's one of the downsides of having 3 health. Dileira just missed 1 jump, which made him not take 1 damage, but 2 damage, and then he tried to intentionally pause and let the slime shoot, because he kind of had to, panic, adapt on the fly, and those slimes can just shoot their projectiles at really annoyingly acute angles sometimes right into your little leaf face, and that's unfortunately what happened to Dileira.
Yeah, did not manage to save that, and already you see, like, as bad as that situation was, and as awkward as it would have been at 4 health, at least Dileira would have lived at 4 health. Going for this again, gets the movement through correctly this time, so maybe that, I don't know, helps shake off some of the tournament nerves. I know sometimes you get a little bit jittery, especially in the early game when you're, getting into one of these tournament races, but that can either help or hurt, honestly. Like, you can say, okay, I just gotta play well from here, or you can be like, oh man, I just lost so much time, I'm gonna lose.
That's right. Well, we did also just see Dileira take a safety save, which is kind of a free safety save. Free in the sense that you have the spare energy at this point. Saving never takes any additional time. For most of your early game, you can just kind of, charge up the save while you're running. It's always just a matter of, is it going to cost you additional time in the form of lost energy? That's always the question.
Yep, and, it's not as super common save to see people do in PB attempts, because they'll just reset if they die on the way over to Blackroot, but in the tournament race it's proven to be very valuable from time to time. I do want to point out that TheSparik is going to be doing some slime genocide action here, killing as many of these slimes as possible to get a level up, rather than going for the 100 experience orb above the light orb room, and it looks like everything's gone pretty well for Spark so far, and we'll be getting the right cycles.
That wasn't close at all.
A little scary on that laser. It is possible to die to that one if you're too fast, but no fear.
TheSparik channeled his inner Goldilocks, had just the right amount of speed. On the left side, Dileira, I didn't see him make a safety save before this section, so hopefully he has no issues. Just 3 more jumps to get over to the side. Is also not going to make a safety save at the bottom of the lasers. Yep, making a smart choice to wait a cycle, and went for that one. So Dileira is through as well. He's going to do his exit and reload to manipulate cycles. So this will allow Dileira to hopefully gain back just a small amount of time, maybe a handful of seconds, assuming that the rest of BRB continues to go smoothly.
Yeah, one thing is, though, that Spark did the genocide route is faster than a perfect reload cycle, which it does look like Dileira is on pace to get things going well for that method of Blackroot, but Spark will be opening up a little bit more of a lead here. Not much of one, it's mostly due to that death leaving wall jump that we have the difference. But, this can definitely even up. It's difficult to keep a chokehold on an array race. This is early on, so there's a lot of opportunity for things to switch around yet.
Well, and speaking of early on and just the early game of Ori, this is actually quite interesting because TheSparik is currently in the lead, but he told us before the race that he was expecting to be behind until maybe roughly around Bash area because TheSparik felt that Dileira's early game was better than his. And I don't know whether that's true or not, but right now TheSparik's early game is going better than Dileira's, so this is certainly good news for TheSparik.
Yeah, one thing he did say when mentioning that is one of the reasons he expected to be behind is because Dileira does take that, or does not take the 4th health cell, rather. So you already have that 8-second disadvantage in the early game, so it's like, yeah, I'm going to be behind, but that's fine. But it was not quite how it worked out in this case. Now, I do want to point out over on the left, Dileira is going for the cutscene stack here. This is a little bit faster. Once again, a scary strategy. So showing no fear of these kind of tougher things in the early game. Dileira's got to move blind out of Blackroot here. There's a particularly terrifying dash vibe that has got to happen over the pit, and the camera did not pan down, so Dileira got it, and we'll be on to Frankie Walk, just saving a couple seconds back by doing that there, rather than,
Now,
TheSparik is in an interesting... Oh, he got the bait! Oh, no!
Uh-oh. Uh-oh, Spaghettio, that's not good. Basically what just happened there, for anyone unaware, remember that this trick requires bringing the Frankie all the way over to the right to the door, and part of that journey is getting over this pit of spikes. Depending on your movement, sometimes the frog will just kind of jump automatically, but it didn't for TheSparik. It was kind of stuck too far to the left. So TheSparik tried to jump over to the left and plink it with one shot in order to bait it. Did not quite work, and things kind of escalated from there. But with that, we have a lead change. Dileira is back in first place. He'll be the first to get through the door, kill the frog, absorb the XP, and he's through to Death Gauntlet.
Man, TheSparik's got the frog stuck in the exact same place and is actually gonna have to take a death again. I don't know what's going on with the bait of the Frankie on this Frankie walk, but having some maybe I want to say uncharacteristic trouble with it, getting hit twice in the same way though. So that's really rough for him, giving up that lead. And now Dileira's got a big advantage heading towards Grotto.
That's right. It is surprising. Ordinarily, you just kind of do your movement in the same ways you always do. It looks like TheSparik is going for the fast cycle, but I'm going to interrupt myself and direct attention over to the left for a moment. I want to see if Dileira can get his early Grotto cycle.
That movement looked really good. That's the one frame.
What is happening this race, dude? And then he got dive bombed by that slime. So Dileira's going to get a second shot at that Grotto cycle, where TheSparik has made it through the door. The Frankie is still just giving him a little bit of grief. So TheSparik is through the door heading into Death Gauntlet. Dileira is doing his attempt number 2 at the Grotto cycle. Got one framed again!
Oh no! Oh, and got the slime again! And the slime again!
This is unbelievable!
What is happening here? This is like everything that could go wrong in the early game. It's
Dileira. Unmitigated disasters on both sides.
Coming up to the 3rd Grotto cycle attempt. He's going for it again. No, he's not. He's not doing it.
Well, that is actually pretty huge. I mean, not to laugh because it's sad, but that is just so unlikely. That is literally one frame that killed Dileira 2 times in a row. Impressive for consistency, but not so great for the race.
Yeah, like 1 frame faster on your movement and you get through, 1 frame slower and you stay outside but you're alive, and not one and you die. So, wow. Oh, and quick little jump into the spikes there for Dileira, but that's no big deal because you have a safety save. There's a less quick jump into the spikes for Dileira.
Sigma, look how close TheSparik is now. TheSparik is taking his death right now to get through the same ghost door. Wow, this is really, really close now. TheSparik is deciding to just play it a little bit safer, not even attempt that little spin jump around the spikes, and is going to be heading to double jump. So Dileira is reloading to do his double jump blind movement, where TheSparik is just starting the cutscene trigger. If Dileira has any issues with the blind movement, TheSparik could take the lead. Yeah,
I can't believe that this race is this close after what happened there. I was kind of expecting it to be like this, but maybe about 2 minutes earlier than this. But both players having big issues in the early game, and it comes out even. Now, I think this actually plays into TheSparik's favor because he is glancing at the restream from time to time, and he knows that they're kind of in the same boat. But Dileira is definitely going to be thinking, oh my gosh, I am so far behind right now. Like, I just have to play crazy to catch up. Although, you know, for some people, the adrenaline helps a lot, and that could help. But here's TheSparik taking a bit of a fall on Grotto skip, but gets it up there nicely the second try. So, still very, very close race right now.
I have to say, it makes it more exciting to watch. We just kind of have different errors on both sides and some very, very surprising ones. But Dileira seems to be having no issues jumping up the side. He'll be getting to this experience orb, doing not a cutscene skip. That's going to lose him just a handful of seconds as well. So we're just seeing little bits of bled time, in some cases larger chunks of bled time through these deaths. This is unexpected. I think this has been unexpected to me how this race is going so far.
Yeah, if you were here for the spaghetti, then you're in the right place, because we've got lots of it. I can't eat it all, so please help me out.
Yeah, I ate lunch before this match. Maybe that was a mistake. I'm gonna get bloated, indigestion. I can only imagine how our runners are feeling.
Oh yeah. Now we're in the same cutscene with Gumo dropping the orb. Runners are like 3 or 4 seconds apart right now, going into Ginso area. Just so close to each other. I'm hoping that the rest of this split goes pretty smoothly, but man, given how the rest of this race has gone, it's like maybe both of them are gonna die to the spares. I don't even know, man. I just don't even know.
I know, dude, this is the point at the run where like I'm not even looking for major deaths. I'm just like trying to pay close attention. I'm trying to become a chameleon and split my eyes. Like who is gonna make like one wall jump error here, one miss jump here and there? Who's gonna bonk an enemy unnecessarily or something? We are just so close that the lead could change maybe multiple times over the course of the Ginso tree, as long as nobody has anything really, really catastrophic happen to them.
Well, Grimmelian, I'm happy to be here commentating with you and Spur. Oh god, taking a hit on the spinners is... Oh man, that... Okay. Okay. Plays it safe.
No safety save from TheSparik on the Spirit Well, so he is going to be low health. He has to be careful getting through this slime, has to do this correctly, and he is through. I believe TheSparik's down to 1 health now.
Yes, you're right. both players will be going into Gitzo. Well, actually, Dileira might be at 3. TheSparik will be at 2 for sure. That's not a really big problem though, because you have an extra save that you can place on your way up here. So, you know, it's not too concerning since we do have that heal on save ability.
Well, as we get into this dungeon, which has a very large aspect of verticality to it, you could say it's very tall, has a lot of heights, unvertically challenged. That was I was trying to think of something else to say. Remember that Dileira only has 3 health. That's the point I was trying to come to.
Yeah, you don't want to stretch that joke out too much, right?
No. You wouldn't. Send help, Sigma.
I'm sorry about that one. All right.
It's okay.
So, both players heading towards the puzzle room. We do get to have a little bit of a breather coming up here. Oh yeah, okay, Dileira is going for the Mr. Asmus cycle, as it's called, which manipulates the shooter to shoot just slightly faster. It saves about half of a second if done correctly, and I think it was there.
You know what's the best part? Sorry to interrupt you, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
The best part of the Mr. Asmus cycle is that it's actually M. Erasmus, and we all just meme about it being Mr. Asmus. That's, I think, my favorite part.
It's a good meme. It checks out. Alright, mini-boss time. Dileira, oh nice, gets the shot that just tells him where the spawn is going to be, but did not manage 8 shots in that second cycle, so will not be able to get a 5 cycle unless the 10 shot volley comes in. TheSparik as well. Looks like that's going pretty good. Dileira, I think he got that early 6 cycle there, and TheSparik, that must have been a 5 cycle. He caught up some time there, so this is getting closer and closer going towards Bash.
That's right. I do want to point out that TheSparik took some unintentional damage. At least I think it was unintentional, which means that TheSparik might have a slightly slower Ghost Door and did miss that Keystone. So again, not a big time loss, but just a handful of seconds here and there. Dileira on the left side seems to be doing just fine. He'll be dropping a save and taking an intentional death. There it is. This is the death where I think TheSparik's going to have to take it more slowly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That is one downside to having 4 health is it's harder to set up your health for that particular death. When you have 3 HP, it's much easier because you just be at max health and then, you know, take 2 damage boosts. It's easy. So Dileira doing well here, getting through the Bash puzzle. Both runners have really kind of smoothed things out ever since getting to double jump. This play has definitely picked up quite a bit. They're playing pretty well.
You are right about that, and I'm just like, I'm almost like distracted of what to say. I'm just trying to pay very close attention to what's happening on both sides. We're seeing, we already saw Dileira set up his save. TheSparik is setting up his as well. We're coming up on key dupe, and I really hope that we don't see any errors in the key dupe. There's some damage for TheSparik. The damage was intentional to set up a Ghost Door, so TheSparik's going to be heading up there. Dileira, I believe, got his successfully. Remember that both our runners are on KBM. Both our runners are on KBM, so they have the same advantages when it comes to these tricks.
Yeah. TheSparik is going to pick up a little bit of time because he had the save on the upper platform. Didn't have to go all the way back up again. But had a bit of a slow key dupe there, so we'll be a little bit behind at Dileira heading into the mini-boss, and does have to take 2 hits on that death there. But Dileira's done the mini-boss as TheSparik enters. We'll be going to Swamp Entry, and man, this trick could just throw things for a complete loop if either runner has too much trouble with it.
That's right. Well, the first question for me is, are they both or neither of them, God, that was an awful sentence, are they going to go for the blind movement? Because the blind movement is, I believe, about 1 second faster optimally, is that correct?
Yeah, if you get all the way to the frog, then you save a second with it.
Right, but at the risk of, you know, doing blind movement, you can accidentally take some damage, or if you don't make it all the way there, then it doesn't really save you a lot of time anyway. The other benefit of blind movement is that your lasers don't spawn, so you don't have to be quite as careful on the way back. Looks like Dileira is not going to do blind movement, which is something that I see more and more runners opting for, and TheSparik doing exactly the same thing. We have like a mirror image of our races just with some delay on TheSparik's side.
Yeah. Dileira not placing a close safety save before Swamp Entry, so is confident getting this first try, and the frog setup looks pretty good. Its position is kind of in the middle of the spikes, but gets the shots baited quite nicely. TheSparik coming into the same thing. He's got the frog up there, didn't get the double bash that he was looking for.
Dileira missed 1 shot, by the way.
Okay. Nice, now get through, but TheSparik, if you can get this double bash, the second one here, up the wall, yeah, we'll save a little bit of time there. This is really close going to Swamp Entry. Dileira going for hyperspeed there was maybe a little bit slow on that menu. TheSparik is, oh, that was much better hyperspeed setup. And Dileira actually didn't get the hyperspeed. TheSparik, he does, so he's catching up a little bit more time there as well.
This is insane. I cannot believe how close this is. I guess it is, to some extent, what we expected at the start of the race, right? We expected it to be close. I didn't expect it to be close in this way. Dileira made it to Stomp and just barely avoided death, actually. That's a clever little deboost.
1854 versus 1857 Stomp. They're 3 seconds apart coming into the Stomp tree. Not a time either runner would be particularly happy with, but man, as a commentator in this race, I am very happy that it's this close.
Well, and there's something else that's going to be rough for TheSparik. Took a quick death. Thankfully, not a horribly costly death, but in a race this close, that's going to cost him. What I was going to say is that remember, TheSparik is watching the restream. He's not watching it extremely closely since, you know, you have to watch the game as well. But TheSparik knows how close the race is and currently knows that he's just a little bit behind. Dileira has no idea. As you said, Dileira probably thinks he's really far behind.
Yeah, and maybe that helps because, you know, after getting to double jump and having, whoa, that was kind of a scary way to get past that laser, but it works. That's cool. But yeah, but since getting to double jump, Dileira's play has really been being good, so maybe thinking he's behind is helpful. Okay, TheSparik coming up to the laser. He's going to play it a little bit safer, so Dileira catching up some time there. Dileira also nailed Pro cutscene skip.
Which means that TheSparik has to nail it as well if he doesn't want to fall even further behind.
Yeah, this can be a big deal here. Okay, the setup. Oh, that's so perfect. Yeah, nice. I didn't even have to, like, adjust that.
I have to say, for both of these runners' parts, most of their play has been extremely clean. I mean, we've had some weird spaghetti, lots of Italian food in this particular version of the speedrun, but on like a, you know, section by section basis, the play has been just fine, which leads me to believe that these mistakes are more flukes than anything.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it's definitely, no part of this game is particularly easy to play, and this time we saw the early game get these runners, and the mid game was great. Getting into the late game soon, we will see what the rest of the run has in store for us here. Dileira had a good Frankie bait, TheSparik as well. Oh, actually, Frankie followed him 1 extra jump, so that's going to be a little annoying. Dileira had some trouble with the dash glide over the spirit tree there, but gets it on the second try. And TheSparik's got a... Okay, he dealt with that Frankie alright, and we'll be heading up to that same skip that Dileira just did.
It's just all these little things. I mean, in the early game, it was some big deaths that caused some deficits that somehow ended up working themselves out to be super close. And now it's smaller things. You know, Dileira had some issues with the dash glide. It's had some issues with that stomp peg, which means that if TheSparik gets there cleanly using the bird for extra height, TheSparik will catch up even another few seconds. This is just extremely close, and we still have arguably the most difficult parts of the run remaining.
Yeah, and really interesting there, Dileira actually placed a safety save after the stomp peg, so maybe not feeling super confident about this next section. You can place a bunch of saves here if you want, and will place a bunch of saves here. And then just take the save on the spirit well. Oh, bird dies faster. Yeah, that's the fastest thing to do, is just take it down, the bird back. But it does give time for TheSparik to catch up. Now,
TheSparik made a safety save too, though.
Okay, so I guess we're both going to be collecting energy afterwards.
I have to say, I kind of like the decision by Dileira. Once you've made 1 safety save, you might as well make a few, since you're going to have to refill anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Like, look at this, 3 safety saves in this section. They cost the same amount, basically, to make 1 as to make all of these. But Dileira had some trouble aiming this shot for fast stomp, which means if TheSparik gets this one here, he's ahead, and he has taken the lead, with the rocks falling onto Kuro's head there. And Dileira, close behind, also gets the trick, so we're in the same cutscene. But TheSparik has pulled ahead for the first time, I think, well, since the Frankie walk almost, right?
Yeah, I think I was holding my breath for a minute there. I had to take another second to catch my breath. We had got double successful fast stompless. We did not get Satselis on either side. We have almost synchronized glide cutscenes. Remember that both of them, I stand corrected. TheSparik is not going to go to the spirit well and restore his energy, so this is going to be interesting to see what happens for him.
I think it's going to be this left energy, and maybe, I'm not quite sure how it all works out, because, you know, all these little differences in the energy route are hard to keep track of, but might, take an energy in Suro, but instead takes a death, doesn't get the bird in the right spot, and man, Dileira might be in some trouble as well right now.
There's multiple things going on here. I mean, TheSparik is pretty much can't make a save at the top because he wants to have, I believe, 4 energy for this trick, and he was low on that part, so his double bash is not going to be high enough, and took damage. That bird might die. It did not. Birds at the same time. TheSparik is through. Dileira is through.
The
Did you see that save?
The last gasp of the bird trying to give charge dash down and die, but when he's ahead, no, it's Byron's speed.
And SpaRik killed his frog.
Oh, he's gonna get the other one. The spaghetti's back. It's course 2, and the frog gets him. No, he's back down at the bottom.
I can't handle this. What is happening? Dileira is through his... Oh my god, barely made it past the spike. So Dileira is the fastest to get through the Star Bash the second time. He's going to grab his cell again, do a rocket jump up. Hopefully this time Dileira will not kill either the frog or himself. Frog looks good. He's going to be heading up through and just continuing through Sorrow. Meanwhile, as I'm saying that, SpaRik made it through a second time. I can't talk fast enough for this dude. There's too much happening.
Well, thankfully Dileira's floating up, so we've got a little bit of freedom. SpaRik's still going fast here. Might get a rocket jump victory. Just catch up some time.
No, SpaRik's going to avoid the rocket jump. He wants to save his energy. We'll see if he does decide to make a safety save before the Dorito dungeon. He is, just to make sure that he doesn't die. Remember, all of these spikes will insta-kill both of them, although Dileira is already through. So Dileira is going to be the first to reach the charge jump tree as well. This is still extremely close. This is just like... I don't even know what to say. This is a repeat of earlier. We got like major spaghetti on both sides that somehow almost exactly evened out.
Sometimes I like to say at the end of a race, you can piece each other's runs together and come up with a pretty good time, but they're making mistakes at exactly the same parts. It's just so fun to watch like this.
That's right. Now, this is interesting as well. The next thing we have to do here is Terra Break. SpaRik on the right already has his save open, which means that SpaRik will be able to do his Terra Break trick more quickly, whereas Dileira had to drop down to the bottom and open up the save. So Dileira is still in the lead, but look at how close this is now because of how quickly SpaRik was able to pull off his Terra Break. We were floating up at the same time. SpaRik did have to wait on one laser cycle, but holy cow, Dileira is 2 or 3 seconds ahead now. That's it.
Yeah, and we'll have to see how risky... okay, actually, never mind. Dileira got the plant at the top of Sunstone, which means it won't be risky on the laser cycle because it will just be a safe pass of the next one. I think SpaRik will be able to stomp directly past the lasers on his way down, but it can be scary.
Dude, Sigma, SpaRik got better movement to the Sunstone. He got a better dash glide in midair, which means he had to spend less time in the cutscene. He's closer to Dileira than he was before because his movement was slightly better. We're like 1.5 or 2 seconds apart coming out of this.
Oh man, and their health is even tied. SpaRik took some damage, I guess, leaving charge jump, and will play it a little bit safe on those lasers. So Dileira has a little bit of a lead coming in here. Not going for the weave. Oh, SpaRik is going for the weave and went for the weave platform higher. Didn't get it, but man, I appreciate the swag. But, oh man. So Dileira will be, I mean, used to Misty with 3 health. Will place a safety save immediately. SpaRik will also make that save, and SpaRik, now healed up to 4, will not get one shot by anything in here, but Dileira is in a little bit riskier of a situation right now.
That's right. I have to imagine that SpaRik is feeling a bit conflicted, to be honest. He knows how close this race is, so he knows that he has to play as quickly as he possibly can to try to clinch out this lead. On the other hand, SpaRik also knows that any death might single-handedly hand the victory to his opponent, so he has to play with some additional safety as well. This is not an easy situation to be in for either side.
Yeah, as far as I know, neither player has saved since the entrance to Misty, so a mistake from either one will be hugely costly. Almost a minute between their last safety save and now. So Dileira heading through these last spikes. Remember that these are one-hit kill. We'll have to navigate this last little question mark carefully. Gets down, should be okay to get to climb. SpaRik as well. He does have that buffer of health, but also doesn't get hit, and they'll be picking up the climb tree just moments apart once again.
That's right. SpaRik had some very, very minor flaws in his movement, just cost him like a second or two, so we are roughly about the same as we were before. Dileira with maybe just a handful of seconds over SpaRik. But again, that's the risk of having 3 health. You get insta-killed by the spikes, and SpaRik doesn't. So just like that, SpaRik is in the lead. Dileira died again. This is, I mean, second half of Misty is one of the most... It's one of the coolest areas of the run to watch, but it's also one of the riskiest. Because to go fast, you have to pull all these stomp cancels over all these pits of spikes that'll pretty much insta-kill you, or sometimes, in Dileira's case, literally insta-kill you. Holy cow.
Yeah, that's for sure. So SpaRik probably feeling pretty good here in the lead, but how much these players choose to save will be pretty interesting. Dileira not having placed any saves since the climb tree, I'm pretty sure, and SpaRik the same. I think a common one is to save at this 4th keystone here, so we'll see if the runner's up for that. And SpaRik will. Will Dileira?
I'm personally a big fan of safety save. Dileira decided to make his safety save at the bottom instead, which means he probably won't make his safety save up at the top of this keystone. That does mean that if Dileira takes another death, he will have to make up additional time. SpaRik's safety save is further in the future.
Yeah, SpaRik took some damage, is at 1 health. He's going to stop, get this energy, and make a save before the mini-boss, just so that nothing goes too wrong. Ooh, Dileira ran out of energy. He's going to have to take this energy to do the quick fill. No save for Dileira. SpaRik's mini-boss is down. Dileira getting it, does not get the quick fill, but does not take it. Okay, took some damage there. Now at 1 health. Oh, God. Oh,
be careful.
Okay. Holy good lord, that was actually really scary.
Now, the good part about taking out that mini-boss is that you immediately get a level up, which means that your health and energy is refilled. So all our immediate health and energy concerns are at least mitigated, but that definitely gave SpaRik some additional lead. He's going to do a nice series of stop, cancel, dash, charge thingers to get to the teleporter. And Dileira burned in energy there.
Yeah, tried to get a C-dash bash on the bird, but still had charge jump damage. Just killed the bird brutally. And SpaRik coming in ahead, getting some more stomp cancels in here through the entrance to Light Grenade, is going to be going for a fast laser cycle. Quick intentional death right here. That'll glitch the door open on the right. You can see it slowly going up right now. He'll be trying to move down here quickly and get some smooth laser cycles right now. So gets through the first one nicely, gets through the second one nicely, so that'll set him up well on the way out as well. Let's watch Dileira coming into the same sequence right here. We'll have to get these lasers nicely to not lose any time.
That's right. No cutscene on SpaRik's side. He is through the cutscene skip just fine. I've been watching Dileira as we've been talking about this. Dileira had, again, some very, very minor movement mistakes. Is this okay? Holy cow. Made it through the Yoka cycle. That was a little bit spooky because you couldn't see the laser right away, but Dileira is through as well. He'll be opening up the save anywhere. Nice dash glide over the top. No cutscene from either side. So SpaRik has picked up Light Grenade. He has every skill in the game. He's going to be rushing to dungeon number 3, Mount Horu, and here Dileira is picking up Light Grenade as well. This might come down to door up some of these final tricks in the run.
Oh, SpaRik, a little spooked by that laser, waits on a cycle, but still has good cycles out here because this outer laser wasn't loaded yet. Getting some nice rocket jump movement out of there into the boulder escape, now going for the lower route. This is perfectly fine, it's pretty much the same speed as upper. Dileira's going for some grenade jumps out of grenade. Looks like that was the second try grenade jump perhaps, and we'll be probably saving just, well, probably nothing. That's probably even, it's just going normally, but nice rocket jumps from Dileira as well. So SpaRik's through the teleporter. Dileira's gonna stop for some energy briefly, and now going in. Okay, that's a really great adaptation from Dileira. They tried to go top row, missed the jump, and instantly decided to go to the boulder caught up.
Well, despite how close this thing has been for the whole time, right now this is SpaRik's race to lose. You do see SpaRik stopping by to grab his 6th health cell in Horror Fields, which means that unless SpaRik decides to take a lava bath on the way to Mount Horu, he'll be getting the Horror first. Right now, SpaRik just really needs to nail his dwarf, and then, even more importantly, not soft lock on the final grenade jump. I don't think that SpaRik is going to skip the final grenade jump. I don't think he has enough time. And even if he does, he probably doesn't feel confident that he has enough time.
Yeah, I don't think there's enough time difference right now, unless he gets first try door warp and Dileira gets, takes multiple. But when you're watching, your opponent's stream, there's a bit of delay, so you're never quite sure. So you just gotta assume that everything goes well. Here's Dileira coming in for another grenade jump, nails it first try. We'll be getting to the horde viewer quickly, and meanwhile SpaRik's got his door warp in there, and a little bit of a movement flub getting up to warmth, but he's gonna be first into the final escape. So if SpaRik does this final escape perfectly, gets the first try grenade jump, the win is his. Dileira going into grenade warp door jump. I don't even know what's happening, but here we go. Dileira gets the goal first try as well, so close to SpaRik. Any mistake, Dileira will be right on him.
First try. Remember, Dileira's not watching the restream. You can probably see SRL. He's probably just sitting there. His heart is probably racing. He doesn't know when SpaRik is going to finish. SpaRik does not have the luxury of being ignorant, though. He knows that he's in the lead and knows that he has to nail everything in this escape sequence in order to not fail. Thankfully, SpaRik does have 6 health, so he should have no issues getting through the poison water. There's one more boss in this game. The true final boss of this game is called Grenade Jump.
Yep, nice swim from SpaRik, only taking 4 damage there. Skips the curl trigger as he needs to do, and will be sneaking his way up this left wall. Now it's time for Grenade Jump. He's got to do a precise position, get the inputs right, aims it, nails it, and he's in there. All he has to do is hold right, and he has got his raise.
SpaRik will be breathing an enormous sigh of relief after that performance. Wow. With that, though, Delira's coming up to the grenade jump as well. He's on the wall, set up. And he's also through. First try grenade jump for Dileira as well, in a way that's almost tragic. That Dileira got through his escape so well and got a first try grenade jump, and it just was not quite fast enough. Even more so because Dileira still can't know that TheSparik is finished. I mean, now he does because the SRL race thing just went through, but like...
Yeah.
I guess, I don't know, the word I might use to describe that is heartbreaking. Not that there's any reason Dileira inherently was supposed to win or anything, but I mean, to be this close and to lose it so close to the end like that.
Yeah,
Wow.
I mean, if nothing else, at least it was an exciting race to go out on because, man, 17 seconds away, that's one of the closest races we've had in this tournament so far. And it was, the entire time was so back and forth. I think the biggest difference between the players was like during the double jump segment, but there's just so much trading of time losses here and there that they just, wow, I don't even know what to say. That was crazy.
I just saw TheSparik in the SRL chat say, GG Dileira, what a race you definitely have to rewatch. And I agree. I mean, we've had a lot of good races in this tournament, but this is one of them that it's like, if you weren't available to watch this match, you know, if you're at work or something, like, go back and watch this one. This match is worth watching. This is, I think, a wonderful showcase of how exciting these order runs can be. Although hopefully most of them have a little bit less spaghetti in them. Anyway, with that, I do want to see if we can get our guys in for an interview. As always, it's up to the runners whether they want to interview, especially if someone loses. It can be very understandable if they don't want to interview, either because they're frustrated or because they just, you know, are feeling like their heart is racing or something. But looks like we are going to get TheSparik in here. I'm going to go ahead and just drag him in right now. Hey, TheSparik.
Hey! Oh my god, that race. I did watch my opponent, so I knew that it was basically neck and neck all the way through. Until I got a little lead throughout Misty. And poof, had to run for that last grenade jump and thankfully got it, and oh god, I was so happy.
I have to ask you a question, TheSparik. What would you estimate your heart rate was, like, in beats per minute, like in the final escape? Must have been pretty high.
Yeah, like my side. I don't know. What do they have? 100 beats per minute? Something like that?
I'm gonna guess there's probably like 1,000 beats a second for you.
1,000, yeah, exactly. 100 is a human. That would be quite normal.
Yeah. So TheSparik. I don't know. Walk us through that. I mean, we all watched it, but what are your thoughts looking back on that race?
Well, first of all, as with every race, it seems I got that never happened before situation at Froggy Walk, which that situation then, of course, had to happen twice. I somehow managed to make him short hop there. I don't know if I jumped too early or something, but I'm glad that I took the save there. I only did that because I realized that I was already ahead, so I thought if I die at Death Gauntlet, would be a nice backup, and yeah, that was the first thing that went wrong. I think after that, basically, it didn't really much went wrong after that, I think.
Yeah, not that I can think of.
The mid game was really good, but then things got a little bit crazy around Sorobash.
Oh yeah, Sorobash, of course. Yeah, I was not happy about dropping the frog there. That was a little sad. But
well,
luckily, I got through Sorobash most of the time, so...
Yeah, I have another question too. Before the race, you had mentioned that you were going to play it safe if you weren't on PB pace. Obviously, this race was a little bit different because of how close it was, but did you feel like you were playing with additional safety, or was it more just out of, like, I don't know, nerves or something? Did you feel that it was heavily affecting the way you were playing, the race being that close?
Because the race was that close, I didn't play too safe, most of the areas, but then again, I did things like after Sorobash, just opting to fly up instead of doing the rocket jump, so I could save before noob spikes, which I normally don't die to, but that would have made me really nervous taking a death there and probably would have lost me the race, so I think it was a good decision to save there. And apart from that, most of the saves I'll take anyway in my PP attempts, because I had to go really fast. And of course that 6 health, that 6 HP detour there, I already mentioned that I was going to do that, if I was ahead, and so I was. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's the kind of thing, like the safety save before the spikes in Zero, taking that 6 health. It's like you didn't need them, but man, it makes it feel a lot better going through that water when you're like, yeah, it doesn't matter if I mess up, I have an extra hit, or the spikes, it's like, it doesn't matter if I get hit, I have a save there, but it's definitely a lot more nerve-inducing when you don't have that safety, and it makes it a little bit harder to actually do it.
Yeah, especially with tournament nerves. I mean, that race was so close. Oh god. I'm really lucky that Dileira made some mistakes himself there. I think he got 1 frame, for example, at the Grotto cycle there.
He
which
got 1
that
frame
was
twice.
very lucky. 1 frame twice, yeah. I noticed that I suddenly was ahead there, and then I didn't get the God cycle, and then we were pretty much synced, so... Yeah.
Well, Sigmund, do you have any other questions? Otherwise, we can sort of look at the bracket and wrap things up.
Well, I do kind of want to look at the bracket. Moving on from this race, you managed to make it into the lower finals. Not many racers left alive in the tournament now. You're going to be facing up against Eviona in your next match. Have you been thinking about that one at all, or are you just focused on this? But I just want to get your thoughts on how that one's going to go.
Alright, so to be honest, my goal for this tournament was to win this race, basically, because Dileira and me are on about the same skill level, which I think has been shown throughout this race. And Eviona is, she plays in a different league, I think, so... If I get times like this, there's no way I will beat her. But yeah, I'll try to get some practice in still, so... Maybe... I'm still waiting for that huge race PB. But I basically need to PB, and Eviona needs to mess up like 2 minutes for her PB, so probably more of a chill race than this one, because I'm expecting to be behind.
Yeah, that's true. The underdog mentality can be pretty fun, because it's just like, oh, well, I'm behind, I expected that. Or if you actually do get ahead, it's like, oh, what a nice surprise. I hope the late game doesn't destroy me.
Yeah, well, that was just a phenomenal race. I hope you enjoy it, Spark. If you go back and watch it, I think Sigmund and I were having
I'll rewatch it now, I think, because next race is in 1 hour, right? So I have enough time to watch this one.
That's right. What a beautiful transition. The next race that we have is also going to be in Speed Gaming 2. It's going to be Sarah Baron versus Sikinar. That's not at this coming hour. It's going to be at 5 p.m. Eastern, so we have about an hour break. So that's what's next. We also have one more Ori match later this evening at 8 p.m. But if anyone enjoyed that race, stick around, I guess. Like I said, we have about an hour break, but then we'll have another match after that on Speed Gaming 2 again.
Yep, we'll see you guys then.
Bye.
So we're going to see what Didu decides to do. Nice safety save there, and wow, the value from the safety save.
The trick itself requires precisely positioning a frog and managing your XP, but because that can happen, because that froggy has a chair and it can stomp it right on your tiny little head.
Oh god, Milton, get out of there!
Holy crap, the recovery from that.
Like, it's deceptive. Ooh, deceptively difficult. Rufus, so
Holy
close.
crap, Rufus.
Oh.
Oh god.
Is it?
And what is happening now?
I don't know.
Oh, Monkey's shot going through.
Oh, he's missed the double bash though. He's gonna go back up. Monkey's shots are facing the floor. I hope he does not get that on the upper one. Jesus, broken his swamp.
Oh, Monkey getting hit by the shot.
Metal that Terra did. Oh, missing that, but he's got the backup. That's okay. Oh my gosh!
Oh, God.
Oh my gosh! Okay, try again. Just this time you can get to the platform.
What you've seen from runners like Lucidus, Uncle Ronnie, and Eviona so far in the tournament, and oh wow!
Man.
I do not know how he survived.
Both runners getting that 5th.
Oh, Randomson had a really... Wow, what a nice backup, though. Randomson had trouble with the first spider shot, but now it's basically tied.
Go stomp the rocks. And oh,
Fluffy,
I
what
didn't know you could do that.
Oh,
You really just keep moving and skip that cutscene?
Oh, God! Hori's in the air! Hello!
Oh no. Oh Frankie. Frankie, please go away. Oh, that is so
no.
painful.
Oh, this is a party. Luckily, he does have a sickness.
Yeah, mini boss not quite going according to plan. Melvin's gonna go with the stomp spam. Keep that frog away. Get out of here. Don't hit me with the chair. He says he gets through it okay, and we'll be just finishing up Misty.
The section is really difficult with the 5 health. Alright, he gets the bash off of the fish. So yeah, he gets through, but upcoming here is...
He's gone through!
Oh, he died! Death! Richard is in the lead! No, they're tied! Richard just died as well!
What?
This is literally synced in the final escape, guys. Unbelievable.
They both stopped the thing together. Okay.
Each one of those grenades costs 1. He's got 1 left. That's enough for 2 grenade jump attempts. If he keeps missing in that particular way, he's got 1 chance left.
One more.
And he gets it! The
First
clutch!
try, and well, not first try, but you know what? First try.
We'll call it first try.